When I got to Williams, all I wanted to be was the best ski racer in the world, and that's all I'd wanted to be since I was 10 years old. And I was hugely surprised when I spent my first term at Williams, and I recognized that there was so much more out there that I could be passionate about than just going really fast down a ski hill.
The heart of the liberal arts idea is that the college wants to take you out of your comfort zone when you first come here. To acquire a purely domestically oriented education in Williams, you would have to work fairly hard to avoid the numerous opportunities right under your nose. The Center for Development Economics, International Studies curriculum, summer research, maybe abroad with the professor. But even when you're not explicitly studying the rest of the world, there's a certain global sensibility that informs teaching and studying here. How would I think about the financial crisis in the US without thinking about the rest of the world? So suppose we're trying to figure out the best way to improve educational outcomes in a developing country. And one issue is it any good to give, for instance, free textbooks?
You know, I've lived in Toronto, New York, London, Jordan, and I don't think I've ever lived somewhere as culturally rich as Williams.
I think one of the advantages of studying at a place like Williams is that you're going to interact with the kind of people you're going to meet in the rest of your life. One of the ways you actually connect with the rest of the world is by getting close to someone from the rest of the world.
From Nakuru, Kenya. Nakuru is 2 hours away from Nairobi, which is our capital. I have study mates who are from Pakistan, I have study mates who are from India, I have American study mates. People are brought up in different cultures, different backgrounds, and they have a set of beliefs in them. Interactions make you have, if not a changed perspective, in mind another point of view from another person, and it makes you at least appreciate the other culture or the other idea.
There's a way in which a college like Williams, it's like a playground of ideas, a playground for plans. And there's culturally specific ways in which you approach it, but there's lots of commonalities as well. And I guess the joy of intellectual work, the joy of exploration, those are things which come naturally to a lot of people at Williams, irrespective of where they're from.
Yeah, socially and academically we interact a lot, and there's a lot of exchange that's going on in between. Talking about, say, Sankofa, which is a stepping team on campus, I did not know that you could produce rhythm by just using your feet and hands.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Getting to know Africa from the perspective of me, who is just from Africa, is different from hearing it from your professor. I feel like they get a better sense of how Africa is, where we stand, maybe, and where we're going.
In a very natural way, the college does prepare you to think about the rest of the world and to act and be in the rest of the world. And I think coming here, students realize that, you know, I can actually go there and do something beyond just reading about it.
My freshman year, I took a class with Professor Bernhardsen. In particular, I got interested in the war in Iraq and the Iraqi refugee crisis. And I started to think about what I could do to help. I told my parents I had this idea of going to Jordan and teaching Iraqi refugee girls how to play soccer, and they were like, yeah, whatever. Try and convince someone to give you money. And I went to my professors at Williams. I went to Professor Bernhardsen, and he said, yeah, write up a proposal. I'll put you in touch with these 5 people in Jordan, and you're going to be there in a month, and you're going to have 120 girls in your program, so make it happen.
One thing that's been really fun for me at Williams is to watch our students leave the college, or sometimes when they're in the college, go off into the world and do just the most dazzling things. One of our recent alums at the Center for Development Economics is Finance Minister of Georgia. I have a former student at Berkeley doing a PhD on special economic zones in India. I think it's going to be fabulous.
I founded Reclaim Childhood to expose Iraqi refugee girls to sport, because in the Iraqi refugee situation, it's really the girls who were most affected. Reclaim Childhood was giving them back something they had lost, which is the freedom of being a kid and not being afraid all the time. Williams really, I'd say it broadened my scope. It was this immense faith that my mentors put in me, that you could do something if you really put your mind to it, that I think is what would change me in those 4 years.
I think that Williams does a good job in nurturing global leaders, and I believe that 10, 20 years down the line, the next global leaders will be people who are from Williams.